What do we have here? The old theory of slave ships. To anybody that's believing this, really needs some help. There's no way the survival of millions of so-called Africans would survive anything like this. What was the number one killer on slave ships? Most shipboard fatalities were caused by disease and illness. The 11 million survivors entered the Americas physically and emotionally traumatized by the slave ship experience, by disease and suffering, by the deaths around them, and by the inescapable threat of the captain and crew. There's no way anyone can survive a trip this long, 6 months. How many slaves could fit on a slave ship? Ships carried anything from 250 to 600 slaves. They were generally very overcrowded, and many ships they were packed like spoons, with no room even to turn. Although in some ships a slave could have a space of about 5 feet 3 inches high and 4 feet 4 inches wide. What you're looking at are dead people. There's no way people could survive anything like this. It's so ignorant to believe this crap. There's no proof whatsoever that this happened. It's all drawn up, and our people believe it. Please keep in mind this is a wood boat, and wood deteriorates. So you're telling me that they didn't have any trouble of water caving in into the system? Were there rats on the slave ships? The ecology of the slave ship created meeting places for human and non-human animal species, both living and dead, including cats, rats, pigs, goats, fowl, and monkeys, as well as European and African men and women and children, and American cockroaches. You can believe what you want to believe, but if you believe this crap, then you need some help. The journey between Africa and the Americas, the Middle Passage, could take 4 to 6 weeks, but the average lasted between 2 and 3 months. Chained and crowded with no room to move, Africans were forced to make the journey under the terrible conditions, naked and lying in fish. And this is what they teach our kids in school. And we run with it and believe it and don't do any research. You have to have a very low IQ to believe something like this existed. What did slaves eat on the ships? On board the ships, slaves were handcuffed and their legs were shackled. They were chained together in groups of about 50, crammed close together, forced to lie on their sides and often in their own waists. Sorry, but your lies have been debunked.